Hello, and welcome to another edition of Potluck, your everything and anything talk and entertainment TV show. My name is Laura Hartman, and I am your host. Today, we have a wonderful guest joining us who is a craft maker, or she's a master of crafts. Please welcome to the show, Sandra Taylor. How are you doing, Sandra?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. So we're going to be talking about your soaps. You not only make soaps, but you make other stuff like dolls, very cute dolls, and you used to make bears and other stuff. You're very, very talented and very creative. So let's start talking about how you got involved in doing craft making. You know, have you always been artistic?
I've always been artistic. I started sewing when I was 4 years old.
Oh my goodness.
And I made a two-piece outfit, a gathered skirt and a vest.
When you were 4?
Yes, well, I'm from Ohio, and when I was growing up, everyone who went to public school had to learn to sew and cook. We started learning that in the 6th grade.
Okay.
However, we had a community center that we went to where they taught us to sew much earlier. So that's how I started sewing when I was 4.
Okay. So how did you end up, what other things did you get into? So you're...
Well, we had to learn how to knit and crochet.
Okay.
So I started crocheting clothes and doll clothes and blankets and afghans. And then later on, much later on, after I became an adult, then is when I started making soap. Okay.
And that was back in the 90s?
When I started making soap, I guess it was. It's been so long ago that I think it was the 90s when I started making soap.
Okay, and what is involved in making soap? I mean, for what you do, it looks very elaborate and time-consuming. So, you know, you must have like a passion for doing this and an appreciation for doing this. But what are, I understand that you work with like all natural ingredients, and also for, you know, vegans, you use vegan material, you know, like oils and so forth, non-animal products.
Well, that is the cold process soap that I make.
Okay.
That is all vegan.
Okay.
Although there are some people who do like milk soap. Okay. So I do make a goat milk soap also, but that's cold process soap.
Okay. Now explain cold process. Is just a process that's cold, or how would you? Because I don't make soap, so I don't know, and most of the people out there probably don't make soap. We just go to the store and buy it.
Well, cold process soap is just after soap is made with oils, usually soft oils and hard oils and lye. Okay. And you mix it all together, and you can put scent in, or you could put colorant in, and then you put it to rest, cover it up, and you can let it gel or not. Okay. And it takes about, well, depending on your recipe, from 6 to 8 weeks for it to cure.
Oh, wow.
But there is a hot process soap you can make. So that process you can make in the oven, you can make it in a crock pot. Oh. Or you can make a cold process, hot process, when you make the cold process and then stick it in the oven. Okay. So it can cure faster. The hot process method, when you finished cooking it, so to speak, you can use it right away. Oh, okay. Cold process soap has to cure. Hot process soap.
The hot process, it gets hard right away?
It cures during the heating process.
Okay. Do you have to like let it cool down to like let it harden, or is it just cools on its own, or I don't understand?
After you, if you cook it in the crock pot, then you take it out and you put it in a mold and cover it up.
Okay, so once it gets into the air or like room temperature, then it starts to...
And then you take it out the next day, and you slice it. Okay. And it's ready to go.
Great, great. So, so when you started, you know, when you started this back in the 90s, you just decided, well, I'm going to make soap. And did you just go to the library and find out how to make soap, or did you already know how to make it? And did you like play with different processes and, you know, I'm sure you got you have like a bunch of molds that you got, or what motivated you to?
Well, this was before the internet.
Okay.
So I got a book.
Okay.
And I sent away for a kit.
Okay.
And the company I sent to had a number I could call and talk to the person who owned the company. And,
oh, wow. Can't do that nowadays.
Well, I don't think she knew very much about making soap, because the first batch of soap I made was a brick. It was actually a brick. It was not usable. And I found out that later on, much later on, I found out that there was too much lye in it.
Oh, okay, okay. Now, what exactly is lye? And, you know, is it like harsh? Is like a harsh chemical?
Lye is a caustic.
It's okay.
It's a caustic. And years ago, people used it to clean out their drain. If you get a clog in your drain.
Oh, really?
And yes, so you have to be very careful with it. Mm-hmm. And you have to wear safety equipment when you're making your soap, glasses and rubber gloves and all that, so you don't burn yourself.
Okay. Now, for somebody who is like sensitive, like their skin is sensitive, or they're concerned about putting chemicals on them, should they be concerned that that is in the soap?
All soap is made with lye. Okay. All of it. You can't make soap without lye.
Okay.
All soap is made with lye.
So there's no chemical issues?
No, because
it's
once the lye and the oils mix together, then it starts to saponify. It's called a saponification process.
Okay.
And then the lye and the oils turn to soap. It's not lye anymore.
Oh, okay.
Once you mix it together.
Okay. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the stuff that you have in here.
Well, now this is glycerin soap. That's different than cold process or hot process. Okay, although you can make your own glycerin soap, but I haven't done that.
Okay.
This is glycerin soap, which is called also melt and pour.
Okay.
You can buy it in your local craft store. Mm-hmm. But if you want to sell it, then I would suggest you go online and buy from one of the better sellers. Okay. It's a different quality of glycerin soap that you get than the one in the craft store.
Okay, a higher quality, sort of
much higher quality.
Okay. Great. So do you know of any companies offhand that you order from, or?
I love Wholesale Supplies Plus.
Okay.
That's where I get my glycerin soap. And the minute you use it, you can tell the difference right away. As soon as you melt it, you can tell the difference in the craft store and the higher quality.
Right. No, okay, so what about like the, glycerin soap that you buy from the drugstore? How would you compare that to like the type that you make from a higher quality, or is it comparable, or it depends on where you get it from, maybe?
Well, that glycerin soap that's not the same as melt and pour.
Okay.
That's a different thing altogether. That's a different animal altogether.
Okay, okay. So what's the difference? What's the difference?
You can't melt that. Well, it's a different process.
Okay. There's more additives and stuff in the stuff that's bought at the store?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, there are more additives in the lower quality ones.
Okay.
Than the higher quality.
Right.
Things that you might not want to use.
To put on your body, yeah,
right.
yeah. Wow, so you would probably benefit better with buying one of your soaps, or making your own if you want to take the time. Now, speaking of time, how long, like for the glycerin soap, how long does it actually, what's the whole process? No, if you're just doing just soap by itself and not decorating like this is decorated so beautifully.
Well, if you buy glycerin melt and pour soap, you just melt it, put it in the microwave and melt it.
Okay.
And then pour it in a mold.
Okay, so it's really easy.
Yeah. Actually, you could just take it and use it just like that because it is soap.
Okay, like a liquid soap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, well, let's go ahead and talk about these lovely soaps, glycerin soaps. So you must have like a lot of molds that you use. Where do you get your molds and like, how do you, you know?
Some of the molds I order online. This I call my gentleman's soap. And I have...
is this a whole soap or is this little soaps on top? Little separate soaps?
These are separate soaps. And when you put them inside soaps, then they're called embeds.
Okay.
So it's embedded, and this is a layer of black, white, and clear that these are embedded in. And I have another mold just similar to this one that I use scent that's called Grandpa's Pipe. And it sells very well. People really like it. It makes a really nice Father's Day gift or Grandpa.
Sure.
Because there is a Grandparents' Day. I can't think of which date it is, but
right.
And makes a really nice gift. And men like it because there's something for them instead of the sweet-smelling soaps for women.
Right. Now, do you do a number of other men, you know, shapes, you know, like cigar type, you know, cigar shapes soaps or anything like that?
I make any shape you want because after I started doing this, it got to be so much fun that I learned how to make my own molds.
Oh my goodness, wow.
So you can make a mold out of anything.
Okay, how do you do that?
Well, there's a product I use that I buy from Smooth On Company. It's in Pennsylvania, but there are many companies sell it, and it's 2 bottles of liquid, mix them together, and put in whatever it is, a cup or whatever it is, and then you wait for it to solidify.
Okay.
And then when it's silicone, it's liquid silicone is what it is.
Oh.
And then you just melt your soap and pour it in there. And there's also one that's called, I can't think of the name of it right now, but anyway, it's 2, they're solid. You mix them together like clay.
Okay.
And that's what it's called, Amazing Mold Putty.
Okay.
You mix them together.
And then you just make
and then you put your whatever it is in there and wait for it to harden.
Now, how do you like just draw out your shapes, or how do you make the shapes in those type of molds?
Well, you mix it together, and then you take, for instance, this cookie right here.
Yeah.
I would take this cookie and just put it like that.
Okay.
Then when when it's ready, when it's cured, that's what it's called.
Right.
You take it out, and the impression is in there.
Oh, okay.
So then you just melt some soap, pour it in there, and
very cool.
that's what you have.
So we're going to get to the cookie next because it smells just like an Oreo cookie. But this is a gingerbread, and it smells just like gingerbread. So what do you do about like getting the scents? Do you use like natural oils, or like how do you get gingerbread smell or the?
I buy them from a company, several different companies online, and you'd be surprised. I have just about every scent there is. Then they smell exactly like what they say they do. I have lemon, watermelon, vanilla.
Wow.
And that grandpa's pipe smells just like a pipe.
Wow. Yeah.
So, and the color is an oxide, a brown oxide. Now you can use cocoa powder.
Okay.
But it has to be cocoa, not like Nestle's Quick.
Right.
Powder.
Right. And that'll give it that black kind of, or like that's a dark
Well,
brown.
this is not cocoa powder. This is the.
These are the black onyx or whatever.
This is a brown oxide and a black oxide mixed together. So it's a really deep brown color, like deep chocolate.
Okay. Okay. So I want to pick up this Oreo cookie because it makes you want to eat it. It smells just like an Oreo cookie. So
I know
you just explained the, you know, how you made the mold and everything. So do people or kids ever want to come up and go, you know, like?
Well, you know, on my label, I usually put on my label, "Do not eat."
Okay.
And I put on there, I generally put on there, this is one of my first ones before I started adding this to my label, but I just say that it's suggested for, not suggested for kids under the age of 8 or adult supervision required.
Right.
When I mail them out, I put all of that on there, that adult supervision is required.
Wow. Okay, let's go to the cupcake next. Wow, this is very elaborate. There's a key, and you have little hearts. So this is the key to my heart, or your heart, cupcake. So you know, soaps like this, you just want to just keep as display. You don't want to like use them.
No, you have to use it.
I wouldn't want to use this.
Now that's a strawberry scent in there.
It smells delicious. Really delicious. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a brown oxide in the bottom here. And then this is black oxide.
Okay.
And then this is just a red colorant that I use. You can also use food coloring. What you really want is a color that won't bleed, and food coloring will bleed.
Okay.
Now this is a heart, and take it out. Engagement ring.
Oh, cute. There you go. So guys out there, if you want to get engaged. That's really cute.
On a red velvet cupcake, I call it.
Very nice. And this one is?
This is a tiara cupcake. I sell a lot of these.
For the princess in you.
Yes, it is, but this one is chocolate. Since Thanksgiving is coming up, I made this one chocolate. But more men buy this than anybody.
Really?
More men, they buy them for their little girls. Aw,
that's so cute. Do you make them in pink too, or just chocolate?
In any color, any color. I just made for Christmas, a guy ordered one in every color.
Oh, wow.
So I make them in every single color.
That's awesome.
And actually, you can mix colors together and make
other
new colors. Yeah.
Very cool. And then, for Easter, we have these very cool looking, oh my gosh, you have like dinosaurs?
It's
There's like a dinosaur in here. There's like a dinosaur egg. Those are cool.
But you can make the eggs any color.
Is that like a soap?
It's
dinosaur inside? Like
no,
or is it plastic?
That's a plastic. It's a toy.
Oh,
so again, when I do those,
here you go. How cute!
Yeah.
Wow.
And this right here is a little plastic bowl that I put glue on, and I bought this. What is this called? I bought it at Dollar Tree.
Okay.
And I put glue on the little plastic bowl and just mashed it on.
Oh, that's cool.
So it looked like a nest.
Like a nest. Very, very creative. Gosh, wow, very cute. I have to get these for my nephew. And then for
a lady asked me if I could do these for last year for Hanukkah. So again, I made a mold. I had to I also do woodworking.
Oh my goodness!
So
wow.
I have
what do you not do?
I have a scroll saw. So I cut this out in wood, and I put it in the compound and made a mold, and then I poured the soap.
Wow, it's really nice. Very nice. Okay. Now, where do you usually sell these items at?
Well, I sell them at craft fairs, and but I do wholesale orders also if anyone would like that.
Okay.
And I had a lady who was selling them in her boutique. Okay. But she moved away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Well, I mean, these are great gifts for people. You know, definitely a great idea to bring them into like other. If you can get another store or boutique to definitely put these in, I would definitely buy these things. Very nice. So how do you? These have like different stripes, colors. How did you do that? Yeah.
Well, you just pour. I poured this color first. And then I poured white.
Did you use like a thin mold, or like how did you? I mean.
No, it's a loaf mold, like you make a cake in. Okay. That's what I use. The mold you make a cake in.
Do you have to wait for it to harden up to put the other color in?
Well, you can't wait for it to harden. Okay. You have to wait for, when you pour it, then a thin skin begins to form. Okay. That's when you spritz on some alcohol, then you pour the next layer. That's another reason why you have to use high quality glycerin soap, because the cheaper ones won't allow you to do that because they harden too fast.
Got it. Okay.
Before they can cool down.
Right, right. Wow, very interesting. You learn something new every day. So, okay. Oh, and this was for Christmas. Yeah, let it snow. That's awesome.
Well, as I said, I'm from Ohio, so I'm used to the snow.
Right, right, right. But very, very pretty. So how did you do the letters? You just did the letterings, little letter molds? You have little letter molds?
Well, I happen to be in Dollar Tree again. Okay. And they had some plastic magnetic numbers and letters. Okay. So I bought them, and I made a mold out of them.
So that's how you got, wow, very cool. Very cool. And then what else we got? We got
these one for card players.
Oh yes. Wow. Do you get a lot of orders for these?
Well, I sell a lot of them when I go to craft fairs.
Do you ever have ones with like the numbers on them, or do you just do like just the? Okay.
Yeah, I do those.
Very cool. Like little soaps within soaps.
Yeah,
and we got little crayons for the kids.
Yeah, the kids love those.
Wow. So what did you do for like the paper? Is that paper, or that's not paper?
Paper. I print it out on my printer.
Okay. And then you just like glue it, or you just wrap it around and then glue one end, or?
Yeah, just wrap it around and glue one end.
But people probably wouldn't use these soaps. They probably just have it for display.
Well, I hope people use them. That's why I make them. I want people to use them.
Yeah. Now this is adorable. This is an apple and pie. Apple pie. That's very creative. You're very, very creative. That's awesome. So, and very elaborate too. It's got even the leaves and the stem. So how did you just a mold with the pie?
Well, I have a pie mold.
Okay.
And an apple mold.
Like this pie mold. Yeah. Okay, okay.
So I poured the apple and then put the pie in it.
Okay. Very cool.
They make nice little teacher gifts.
Yeah, no kidding. I have one of my best friends is a teacher. She would love that. And then for the music lover in you, very nice. And the same colors.
Same thing.
Yep. Wow, that's awesome. And then we have letters. You have
This is the Greek alphabet.
Okay. Great for those college kids out there that are in fraternities and sororities.
Well, yes, that's great, and that's kind of what I had in mind when I was making them. And then last month when I went out to do a craft fair, a lady came up and said, "Oh, we're studying Greek."
Oh, perfect.
And so she bought them. So
nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. They've got molds for everything.
And that's the American alphabet.
Okay. And all different. They look like little, those like jelly gummy bear thingies. Right?
Well, the
and
kids.
Got a little sponge in here too.
Yeah, the kids like the colors.
Wow. Whoops. There's. Very nice. I hope you don't mind me touching these.
No.
So.
That's my display model.
Little S. Very cool. Very cool. So. Now this takes a lot of time to make all this, I can imagine.
Yes, it does.
And you must have a really big passion for this
I do.
as well.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
What challenges do you have as far as like, as the whole soap making process, what's like your biggest challenge? As far as, selling it to people or getting the word out there, what's the biggest challenge that you've had to face so far? Oh, and it looks like we're running out of time. I'm so sorry.
Really?
Yeah. No, it's okay. I know time goes by quick, but
getting a good venue to sell.
Okay.
That's the biggest challenge.
Okay. Well, definitely you've got amazing, soap products here. So, I'd be definitely happy to, look at these for gifts or whatever. So, but anyway, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
And you have information about your stuff on Etsy, right?
Yes, the gift maker on Etsy.
Okay, and that'll be on display on in the credits. And so thank you so much for joining us. And if you're just joining us now, you can find us on the web at www.potluck-online.org. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.